Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to TechGig webinar series, our endeavor to impart tech ease. We believe that sharing of knowledge is the key to enhance our skills and grow us as professionals. With this principle in mind, we have initiated a series of webinars conducted by industry experts to give you all a crisp insight of various domains. The topic of today's session is Enterprise Mobility, a paradigm shift from traditional mobile applications. Our guest speaker today is Mr. Nishant Kulkarni, Senior IT Architect at IBM India Software Labs. Mr. Nishant Kulkarni is working as Master Certified IT Specialist in IBM India Software Labs. He has over 10 years of experience in designing and implementing business integration, SOA, BPM, and J2EE based solutions. He holds a master's degree in information technology and a bachelor's of engineering degree in electronics and communication. He has over 12 IBM product technology certifications, including SOA Solution Designer, On-Demand Solution Designer, WebSphere Process Server Deployment Professional, and so forth. Nishant's areas of expertise include J2EE, security, troubleshooting, integration, and SOA. He has over 20 assets published internally, supporting over 10,000 IBM consultants worldwide. He has presented at many IBM conferences on SOA, integration, BPM, J2EE, security, best practices, etc. Nishant has worked as track lead for both the WebSphere technical conferences happened in Bangalore and presented a poster session at WebSphere Services Technical Conference, Las Vegas, USA. Nishant is identified as a subject matter expert on various IBM products such as IBM BPM, IBM Worklite, IBM SOA integration space. So without further delay, I introduce you all to our guest speaker. Over to you, Mr. Nishant.
Yeah, thanks. Thank you very much. Let me. Yeah, so hope everyone is able to hear and see the presentation. So let me get started. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, based on the wherever you are. Today's session is enterprise mobility, a paradigm shift from traditional mobile applications. So many today everywhere we see that mobile is a buzzword, and we need to really look at it from an IT or an enterprise point of view. What did we change? How we should be achieving the mobility, and mobility as an industry itself, how we are evolving, and what are the things need to be considered. So today, in today's session, we will be discussing about what is the paradigm shift has happened, and also to relate with what are the things which we need to consider when we are implementing the enterprise class mobile applications, and what is the difference it brings with the traditional mobile applications. So I'm on a slide 2 where mobile is everywhere, and we know, like earlier when the telecom boom had started in India, we thought that okay, what will happen if every individual has a mobile, but today we know that there are people who are having more than one mobile numbers, and everyone is crazy about the devices, and that is the way the technology adoption is rising even in India, and not only in India, it's across the world that the same scenario is being observed. So what are the 5 trends with significant implications for the enterprise? The first is mobile is primary, right? That means I mean, sometimes many people say that okay, no more. Can't you live without a mobile? And it's a fact. It's a truth. So that today we are not able to live without a mobile, and people are literally getting addicted towards mobile because most of our day-to-day job and even work-related activities are getting done. Right? And today, mobile has not only remained as a device where we can communicate and send the text messages, but it has become like a virtual workplace for us, and that is the reason why it has become one essential part of our life, and going forward it will become more like a commodity for all of us, where every services, every functionality will get done through the mobile devices, and that's the way we are heading at. But when we are looking at that kind of a scenario, it brings challenges. It brings the challenges in various different areas. So that is what we will be discussing in today's session as well. When we did a market research in IBM, we have found out that 91% of mobile users keep their devices within arm's reach 100% of the time. That means 91% of the people always will have mobile at arm's reach, and this is actually research performed in different geos, and that is what is being observed. Point number two, which the second trend is what insights from mobile data provide new opportunities. For example, what it has found out is that 75% of the mobile shoppers take action after receiving a location-based messages. So if there is an application running on a device which says that that what is the nearest shopping complex, and are there any discounts or any sale happening in the nearby, and if the smartphone we receive a notification that you are in this location and a kilometer away from here in some mall there is a 40% discount happening on certain things, and it is observed that nearly 75% of the mobile shoppers take action receiving such kind of messages, and that is a significant trend or statistics analyzed by the expert in the industry. The point number three is mobile is about transacting, right? So mostly mobiles are used to perform the transactions. It could be a bill pay, or it could be transfer the fund quickly, or it is either to do some kind of approvals on the fly. So many things, the transactional activities we perform on the devices, and that also gives us a view that the mobile transactions are short-lived, right? So they are not expected to live for a long duration, and that is where the short-lived transaction management becomes another important area which we need to consider. So the statistics observed is 96% year-to-year increase in mobile Cyber Monday sales between 2012 and 2011, and that is one of the another statistics and observed which is also showing that a lot of transactions are happening over the mobile, and different sales related activities are now picking up exponentially on a mobile devices. So specifically from either apps or either a web-based browser or many things, that is the statistics observed. Trend 4 is mobile must create a continuous brand experience. So mobile today is not just considered as a tool or as a device which remains with the user, but it also used as a brand creation and significant. That is what the statistics says, that 90% of the users use multiple screens as a channels come together to create integrated experience. So integrated experience, usability is what is a buzzword for today's mobile industry. And trend 5 is mobile enables the Internet of Things. So global machine-to-machine connections will increase from 2 billion in 2011 to 18 billion at the end of 2022. So this is what is a predictive analytics given figure based on the existing data, and the mobile is also a participant in the M2M space, machine-to-machine space, and machine-to-machine is still a very much evolving industry, and soon we will see that every place we will have a mobile devices, like including track a vehicle to like school bus tracking to even the pizza delivery boy or even courier tracking, even to a level where we would be having the healthcare industry or drugs vehicle tracking and so many things. Right? So this is the one evolving industry where we will see an exponential growth over time. I am on slide 3. Mobile is the next dominant phase of computing, and everyone understands that why it is dominating and why it is evolving. And believe me, today there are devices which are more expensive than my desktop computer or a laptop, and still there is an increased sale of such devices, and that clearly says that so much of a users are trying to actually put the money to buy those devices, and that much of the consumer sentiment is clearly visible, and most industries always must respect the consumer sentiment, and based on that the technology need to drive that, how that consumer sentiment can be honored, and based on that the technology can evolve to provide that best consumer the experience altogether. We started early days with a host or a mainframe systems. Then we entered into client server architecture. Then mostly like last 8 to 10 years we were in web-based or desktop development, and today we are in mobile, wireless, or a cloud computing kind of an era where information is becoming like information is accessible in various different channels. It is easy to access, it is easy to consume, and that is why it is bringing a new set of challenges for us to how to realize such kind of an implementation. So mobile is different, which is a transformational business model, faster life cycles, and more iterative. One of the biggest challenge for the industry today is the speed at which the new technology is coming, specifically into a mobile. Even there is a mobile war happening between various manufacturers and different vendors, and meeting those kind of an expectation and time to go to the market is becoming extremely difficult, and that is the reason why the development strategies or the technology adoption strategies need to be evolved to meet such a speed or such a rapid change in the technology or the industry altogether. So that is another important point. And we saw certain companies which once dominating the mobile industry almost verge to close down or getting acquired, and the companies which were nowhere all of a sudden becoming the market leader in the industry, and that level of paradigm shift is happening, and that is the reason why it is very important that we need to cope up with the change what is happening, and we need to be ready to change. And it is also proven that the people who are not ready to change, they vanish in an industry, and that is a clear statement what mobile industry is giving to us. I'm on a slide 4, where traditional mobile development, and we need to clearly distinguish between what are the factors we considered in our traditional mobile development or a mobile application development. And it is not that we never had a smartphones in earlier days. We had smartphones with limited capabilities. We also had a non-smartphones which are like more text-based or the old technology based. So that those kind of devices we need to really go and look at it, that what actually those devices were using and what did we change. So the non-smartphones or the devices, they were predominantly SMS-based integration. They were J2ME applications which developed with a limited set of functionalities. Then we had a web-based browsers which used to have some level of navigation to fetch the data and do the transactions over the in a mobile browser. And we also had a less number of devices which actually was much more easier for developers to do a testing on those less number of devices, and the form factors were limited, and so that was what is a non-smartphone. But later the smartphones, when it got introduced, so in a traditional mobile development capabilities or traditional mobile development methodologies, what we have done is the native development or the SDK specific to operating system, that every smartphone operating system provider have provided the native SDK. It could be Apple or Android or even the Windows mobile. Everyone has provided their SDK, and we can actually use that SDK and do a development. But however, it brings in the challenges of having the portability across different platforms, the more development life cycle, and go-to-market time increase in the go-to-market timelines. Similarly, the second point is that direct connectivity to backend services inside the app. So one of the challenge or one of the drawback I would say is in a traditional mobile applications, they always considered there will be services exposed in my enterprise, and I will directly consume in my mobile applications. And that is one of the challenge, like different set of protocols are used and how we will be consuming. That is another area. The point 3 is the difficult provisioning and device management. So the provisioning, the device management, the new set of policies, the security and everything was one of the challenge for enterprises to handle it. Then the mobile browser-based sites, predominantly there were sites which are mobile portlets or mobile browser compatible sites being developed, so with a less interactive capabilities. We also had a tight integration, in other words, no loose coupling. The services were not loosely coupled; they were directly connected to the device within the applications to the backend services. Near infinite devices and form factors, like we had a huge set of devices, different form factors, different screen size. Now at like Android we have like 4.3, then the older 2.5, then similarly 7.2, now 10.1, and so on and so forth. And there are few netbooks which also come up with an Android. We initially had iPhone, which is a standard screen size. Then iPad, which is of 10.1, so near to 10-inch screen size. Now all of a sudden, to meet the market expectations, Apple also released an iPad Mini, and that is where another level of different form factor and devices got added to the industry, and we need to cope up with how applications should be really designed and developed to meet all these different type of screen sizes, form factors, capabilities, and everything. So these are the things pretty much we used to do in a traditional mobile development, where just develop an application specific to a particular platform or a device and then release it to the market. But however, today, since the customer base is not uniform across, there are different set of users having a different type of devices, and enterprises, it is becoming extremely challenging to provide the applications for every type of device platform to their end customers who can actually get benefited out of. And enterprises, yes, because it is a controlled environment, the employees can be managed, but when it comes to B2C kind of a scenario where business is providing an applications to the end customers, it is more increasingly challenging that how many applications I will build, how many different type of devices I will support, and if we need to support infinite number of devices, the development cycle, the strategy, and so many things are impacting the go-to-market scenario. So I'm on a slide 5. Let us go and little bit look backward and try to see that what did change to the previous, because few years back we were all just discussing about SOA integration and everything, and today all of a sudden everyone is trying to discuss the mobility and related areas. So based on the technology understanding and my experience working with an industry, the technology evolves over years, and no technology actually vanishes or it becomes unused. Every technology is a stepping stone for the next technology or the next set of evolving technology. It provides a platform. In early days when we all were discussing about the integration, and that is where, based on the challenges integration provided, the service-oriented architecture kind of a principle or architectural methodology evolved, and today the mobility is the next generation of it, and we need to really look at it when enterprises have invested good amount of money to build the SOA type of infrastructure. Is that going to help me in my mobility or my investment or enterprises investment completely goes away or it vanishes? So that is what we need to evaluate, and this slide specifically again gives us time to look at what exactly the SOA and is it going to relate to the mobility as an industry. So let us look at what is a service. A service is a repeatable business task which most of the people understands. In our old traditional OOPS method, it's like a repeatable business object or business entity is what we call as a service. Now, a service can be consumed. A non-consumable business function is not qualified to be a service, and that is a clear message that in order for us to consume a specific set of business functionality, a service must exist. And so as for any mobility devices or mobile applications, if that they need to consume a specific service or to perform a business operation or a business functionality, a service must exist. So that is what is the relation between a service in a SOA kind of a world and a service in the mobility type of a world. And the technology didn't change over here, but the architectural principles very much remain intact. The service orientation is a way of integrating your business as a linked services. So an orientation is a way, right? We integrate set of services. Like for example, if I'm developing a mobile online shopping, it could be either like a eBay or for Amazon application on any smartphone devices. If you launch an application, we perform a set of operations in a flow, right? And that is where it's an integration of those linked business services, and that is what we call service orientation. And the same service orientation is applied to the mobile industry or mobile applications as well. So that is what we need to really look at it when we think the mobility or the mobile applications as such. The same architectural principles are applied directly. It's just we need to shift our thought process or give a little bit of paradigm shift to really relate the world, the technology which we feel that okay, it existed, but what is something new? So it's not completely evolved by itself, but it is evolved from its predecessors. Right? So the next part is service-oriented architecture. It's an architectural style, and that clearly signifies that today, in many of the implementations and experiences, I have observed that mobile applications, they think that anyone can just simply write the business functionality and develop. Yeah, that once up to certain time it is okay if we are doing some kind of applications which to play or something. But when it comes to the enterprise class applications where the transactionality, the integrity, the security, and so many different things matters a lot, we cannot simply just go and develop applications. It requires the traditional software development methodologies or even the new software development methodologies, or it could be either a waterfall model or it could be a Scrum or agile development methodology. All such type of methodologies become applicable, and even similarly a SOA type of architectural principles are also applicable over here. A composite application is a similar, if we relate in a SOA world with a composite mobile application, it's pretty much similar, right? So we create an application by composing one or many different services inside our mobile applications to give a user experience. So let me go to the next slide. So it discusses the key challenges. The mobile apps key challenge is what it is creating rich yet cost-effective mobile apps in a fragmented technological landscape. The important challenge in all the today's mobile application is that creating rich. That rich, wow factor is what is a buzzword today, right? If user doesn't feel wow about an application, immediately they will go and delete it. And even with my own experience, many new applications launched in App Center, we actually download, we see, and if we feel, yeah, it sucks, right? We immediately go and just delete it, right? And that's the way the user. So the first experience or the first impression is what it makes the user wow, and that is one of the key challenges for the mobile industry or the app developers today, and that is where I think mostly the creative people are adding more value to the technology today. Earlier we used to just think that technology is just a game of engineers, or technology is just to be done by those all techies who probably whose hair will stand like an Einstein or something. But it is not the case today, right? And it is more like this industry is also employing a lot of creative designers to give that wow type of a feeling to different applications, and industry is actually expanding to a different set of non-technical industries as well. Now, multiple apps are building in-house, moving away from proprietary languages. So these are the few of the challenges where how can I go away from my proprietary languages. The second challenge is connecting the enterprise backend services in a secure and scalable manner. One of the area where it is extremely difficult to get a sign off, I think the people who are from the enterprise application background, they know that how critical is to get a sign off from the security department of any organization, and the same challenge is applicable to the mobile as well, because if I have a bank account, I definitely don't want a compromise to be done in my my account or my financial transactions, and that is why when it comes to the enterprise type of, or even if I'm an employee, I'm accessing my HR record over mobile, I want the transactions to be extremely kept confidential, and there is no security, or there is no data theft happens on my device, and so many different challenges related to the enterprise security. Backend service integration is faced by the industry today in the mobile application space. Controlling the growing portfolio of applications deployed in the wild. So yeah, means okay, fine, if we have multiple applications we deployed, what's next, right? So we require controlling the versions of applications, we require the blocking the old version, we need the provisioning of the application, the control and the complete management of application is one of the important challenge what we need to consider. So I am on slide 7, which enterprise mobility key considerations. The key considerations are one is the payload. Let me just share few of the experiences what I had with other different implementations in our traditional client server based applications where the browser was the client, and those areas when we used to say that performance is a big problem, you are sending the huge data to the browser, and that is why it is taking time to load it. So the answer was it's a fine, right? You are on an intranet and the bandwidth is more, so it will render, that is okay. So that kind of a messages we heard from the technical people talking, and that is where the content rendered in the desktop browser was so high. And I would even say that you can visit any of the rich sites and try to save the page, and you will see the content in KBs. And if KBs, and even I saw in certain places where a landing page was nearly MBs. Think of like you have a mobile data where and you are trying to load that much of an MB of a data. So what will happen? And that is where the one key consideration is the payload, right? So payload, optimize the payload, the size of the payload matters a lot. So few of the points in the payload which we need to consider is the type of a payload. That means what is the type of a data? Should I be loading just a plain text? Should I be providing the JSON type of an object, or should I be providing the XML type of an object? So what is that type of payload, or should I be giving the ASCII or a binary data? What should I really be providing? So the type of payload is extremely important, and these are the points become a checklist for any IT implementations to look at, and we need to fill in those points when we actually go for an enterprise mobile implementation. Performance considerations, we need to see that we need to also perform an evaluation that what type of devices are most people will be using in my environment, what is the type of network connectivity they would be having. So will they be using over Wi-Fi more, will they be using over 3G or 4G or a edge type of a network, or will there be any kind of a drop in the network where they need to store the offline content? So what all we need to do is, so many different considerations we need to give when we are considering the payload alone. Then the data formats, like it is also related to the type of payload, where should I be considering JSON objects so that I can parse, should I be considering XML, whether my libraries support XML parsing or whether my libraries support JSON parsing, or should I be giving the CSV file, or I should be providing the binary data. So many questions arise, and that becomes one of the key considerations what I should be doing. Similarly, portability, if I consider the type of payload to be say JSON, then I need to also look at it. What are the different operating systems we are targeting, whether they all are compatible with this data format. If they are not compatible, what amount of extension I need to consider, how much that extension is going to cost for me from a development, from testing, from security point of view. So many different things we need to consider. Whether that payload format can have a contextual information. If not, how am I going to create the contextual information? So many different things we need to consider. We need to also see the relational behavior. That means whether the data has a relation with some of the other data. It could be a session information. How am I going to handle it? It could be the data related information or the user related information. How am I going to relate it? So many different things we need to consider only when it comes to the payload, and it requires a very close attention, specifically from the designers and the architect type of people when they are designing the mobile apps. The second point is security. Security is one of the niche area, and in the name of security there are many times a lot of things gets imposed, and no matter how beautiful wow type of application you develop, and if it is not secured, enterprise is not going to accept the application. So without the proper security considerations, no app will go live in the industry today, right? And that is why the three key considerations, there are many apart from this, but I just try to capture few key consideration. One is the channel security. Mostly all the enterprises have to have the channel security with appropriate. Predominantly it is an SSL based channel security, and then the data security, which is the data, which including the request and responses need to be encrypted appropriately. So the data security is one of the key consideration. The device security, right? So if my device is stolen, how am I going to do it? Will the person who got the device, whether it could be stolen or I lost my devices, what about the data security, or what about the device security? Will I be able to remotely disable the device? How am I going to consider? So many different things we need to consider when we are designing the mobile application. Architecture. Layered architecture is one of the key considerations, but many architects have a difference of opinion around this. Mobility, it requires the low latency transactions. It also expects the quick response time. It also expects the less number of layers, so that the hops between the layers can be optimized. But we need to have a balance between how many layers we should really go with, but because mobility is one of the channels, right? So one thing I want to be very clearly mention in this discussion is that when we are discussing a mobility for an enterprise, mobile is one of the channel for enterprise to expose the services or functionality, right? There could be a web, there could be even the desktop applications, quick client applications, so many, and tomorrow things may change. So tomorrow there would be something else, something different channel altogether. How am I going to really consider that mobile channel or other channels to integrate? So when I'm doing a layered architecture, I need to have a gateway, or I need to have a capability in my enterprise to ensure that the development effort from the backend services point of view is universal. That means whether it is today mobility or tomorrow something, we should be able to consume those, and that is why I try to relate the service-oriented architecture principles with the mobility aspects. We need loose coupling so that tomorrow we can plug and play kind of a capabilities. If we want, say today, for example, today bill desk integration is there, payment integration is there, and so many different such kind of a service providers are there. And tomorrow, if third service provider comes and I immediately want to move it, or there could be a enterprises where they want to give option to the customers to choose what type of bill provider they want to transact with. Then the application should support both type of or different type of transaction mechanism, and that again becomes a challenge for architects. Standard based important thing I would like to mention. Many things keep evolving, and it is also a nice thing to say I have something new in my enterprise. But But when it comes to enterprise class implementation, standards-based implementation, or I would say open standard-based implementation, is the mandatory thing we need to consider it. And that the open standard-based integration is very important, because if we don't go with an open standard-based integration and we go with a proprietary, and that proprietary standard goes out of the support, or even they have a challenges, it becomes extremely difficult for us to integrate with other technology providers if the technology is not following open standards. Another key consideration is service governance, which includes change management, device governance, application governance, and platform governance. The performance is application performance, operating system optimization, and quality assurance, which is quality assurance testing strategies, functional testing, integration testing, and security testing. Testing is one of the key challenge today for mobile industry, and I will separately cover the testing strategies for a mobile one. The deployment strategies, the device and operating system strategies, and similarly the development strategy and technology adoption. The last one, but which is most important thing which we need to consider, is the wow factor. Right? When the user sees the application, the wow should come, and then that is what a big consideration every business today is providing, and we should not forget just that by giving the functionality doesn't really motivate the users to use the application. That wow should come out. What people are doing in B2C is experience rich, new level of convenience driven by contextual personalization, better informed interaction, changing the end-to-end servicing experience. So these are the B2C scenario. Now let us come back to the IBM's study. What we have done is like moving away from a one-size-fits-all model towards workforce optimized IT delivery. Right? So we have a virtualization target, we have a tablet targets, we have virtual, then we have a different types of employees and what is their characteristics, what is their behavior and everything. So the additional personas like IBM office-based employees, the work-at-home employees, the frequently travelers, acquisition employees, employees with high technology adoption, low technology adoption, employees with accessibility requirements, and so on, and all becomes a challenge which we need to fit in the mobility as a space. What people are doing in B2E strategy is like approach is determine key IT services necessary for employees to do their job, determine the environment, the cluster employees with similar IT requirements, then validate IT requirements, map segments, and use employee segments. So these are the few things which we need to consider here. We have why mobile development is different. Mobile apps are different. They are more strategic, greater urgency, they are context aware, they run on unstable networks, smaller footprint, and always on. Right? So their development is different, security is different, and management is different. So many different things we need to consider when it comes to the mobile development compared to the traditional application development. IBM introduces the IBM Mobile First offering. So we have introduced the Mobile First offering, which provides the complete capability for the mobile. One is for clients that need quickly develop and deploy high quality mobile apps across multiple platforms, seamlessly connect rich mobile application to enterprise data. So mobile platform offers the quick development and deploy capabilities. Similarly, for the management, like we have now every organization is coming up with bring your own devices. So bring your own devices provide the capability, challenges to the organization how they should be able to manage these devices, because the devices would be of a different make, different form factors, different operating system. So IBM Mobile First capability provides the management to all those devices. We have analytics where we provide the capability for the mobile applications or the enterprise mobile applications to provide the analytics. Let us come to a very quick discussion which talks about hybrid versus native. Like, let us understand. So hybrid does not mean only HTML5. Right? It is not the people have a misunderstanding that hybrid means my application is only HTML5. It is not. And hybrid, the definition itself says that an application can be part HTML5 or tomorrow something else and part native. And there are many different libraries today or components available which link the native component and those HTML5 components together, which can provide the rich set of applications where HTML5 based application can be uniform across all the device supported, and specific to a device we can actually access the native capability and still provide the wow or rich kind of a capability. Right? So the IBM Mobile Enterprise Development Lifecycle, we have it spans like design and develop, instrument, integrate, test, scan, certify, deploy, manage, and obtain insights. So this is what is a development life cycle, which is pretty much provides the end-to-end life cycle of the enterprise development. Quality is critical for mobile applications. So B2C application face the business, engage customers personally and drive loyalty. User experience is key to brand perception. Employees facing B2E is increase worker productivity, speed decision making, and then poor user experience. So there are many things which are the qualities are critical, and the mobile applications are different in all these spaces, different platforms, different capabilities, more network considerations, user experience is critical. Testing the end-to-end mobile solution is client-tier devices, mobile-tier server, and back-end services, and testing involves much more than just the mobile front-end. So the mobile testing itself is the most challenging thing today what industry is facing, and this is what do mobile testers need to do is test management, manual testing, service virtualization, security testing, device access, performance testing, and mobile UI automation. Mobile UI automation is the most difficult thing in industry to really provide the UI automation and perform the usability testing. Right? So IBM Rational platform has provided the many capabilities or a component which can provide such type of a testing, where we can also develop the applications. We can actually hook up those all test components, and we can perform the like we have a different rational functional tester, or even the load runner or a win runner type of a testing tools can actually record the behavior and play. Similarly, we are having the capability where we can record the UI play in the mobile applications, and we can perform the functional testing. So with this, I would like to conclude the today's session, and if there are any questions, let us open the floor for the question. Thank you. Any questions?
They've started assigning you questions now. I hope you can see them.
Yeah, I can see. Okay, so there are many questions. So let me take one by one. The question asked by Rohit Kumar is saying that I am presently working as an SAP basis consultant. Can you suggest me some course or anything like that which will help me increase my knowledge in the increase my job prospects? So one of the question which many different developers or the technologists who want to transition the technology from one area to other area, or predominantly the college pass out students who want to get into mobility space. So IBM Worklight provides the 1 month developer preview, and I will share if possible. I don't know how to share these links, but my email ID is shared on a presentation. So you can drop me a mail. I can provide you the place where you can download the tutorials, including the labs, and which like hardly would take 1 to 2 weeks of a time, and you can master the complete mobile development capabilities with an exhaustive set of presentation and as well as the lab artifacts. You can actually, it's an Eclipse-based platform which IBM has for the mobile enterprise mobility. You can actually download. You can try it out by yourself without any support or any place to go out, and you can develop quickly your enterprise class applications, and you can scale yourself. So you can drop me a mail. I can provide you all the links and details where you can download and you can get started with. So the next question, I hope I answered the question. So I will just move to the next question is how to learn mobile programming. A very good question, and let me share my own experience. I am not a mobile developer, as means I spent my more than 10 plus years, nearly 11 plus years now in this industry, and I started my career as a Java J2E developer. Then I got into the enterprise integration space, and I was pretty much involved into business process management, EAI, and architectural space. And almost a year back only I just transitioned into mobile. So I transitioned from a Java J2E developer to a web developer to an enterprise integration architect and the BPM architect, and now again the mobile architect and a developer. So and it hardly took me just 1 month of a time to completely understand what it is and get started onto that one. So today, particularly in IBM side, or even I would say all the other competitors, enough amount of information is there, and for me it took around 1 month to completely understand and become a proficient too. I won't say I'm completely mastered, no, but it took me almost a month's time to get started, and then eventually master, so just start again maturing towards, and even till today I'm learning, but I would say the minimum amount is expected, or amount of time expected, is nearly 1 month of time. And there are I would say the college pass out learned within 1 week, we took 1 month. So maybe our the brain power is little bit reducing now. So that would be the only answer for that. So the next question is that does IBM develop native apps or hybrid? A very good question. Let me put it a very straightforward answer. IBM is not into an app development or application business. We provide the platform, and wherein enterprises or our partners can build the applications on top of it. So we provide a platform and an assistance to develop the applications on top of our platform. So similarly today, the Worklife provides a platform where we can, means our partners or customers, they can actually develop the applications, and then they can deploy. So that is a straightforward answer, right? So let me go to the next question. Could you please explain more about hybrid versus native development? There are many questions about hybrid versus native. Let me just take a quick time to elaborate on a hybrid versus native. Native, let me explain first native. Native application development uses the native operating system libraries, the native SDK, and which is built targeting the specific operating system platform, right? So that is a one, pretty much about the native. Hybrid applications are targeted that develop once and deploy in all the platforms which are supported the open standard based, or I would say HTML5 based implementation. Now there is a possibility that because of the wide use of or wide availability of the devices, different form factors and everything, the industry is facing a challenge where how can I develop the applications which will have, say for example, list of my books. I want, that is fine if it gets rendered in my HTML5 as with a style sheet, but my navigation menu I want wow type of feeling. It could be either my iOS type of that hovering, or I want BlackBerry 10 type of menu or something. So how can I achieve this? So today, in Worklight it is possible, or I believe that many other mobile platform providers, it is possible that we can actually have part HTML5 and part native capability also built in, right? We can access the native component capability, and we can say that for Android, for this version, you use this type of capability for this, and we can put up a such kind of a condition. So my app becomes common, and only the delta, right? So the place where the HTML5 list, or I would say the basic forms and everything, they remain mostly reused across the platform, and only the delta native capabilities can be bundled for a specific device. And if you consider, I have like say iOS, within the iOS I have iPad mini, iPhone, then also iPhone 4S, 4, like my Samsung if I'm targeting, my older one, and with the new smartphone which is the Galaxy series, within the tab, or Note 2 which is again the bigger screen which is between the phone and a mini type of a tablet 7.1, how can I really give that wow? So I can still have the list or form or such kind of a, or I would say notifications, everything built as a common, but only the delta portion I can build using the native. So hybrid is a truly hybrid. I can have combination of HTML5 and a native. I can have a full HTML5 which becomes like a hybrid, and I can deploy in a cross platform. So the hybrid is what providing us a quicker go-to market, and every mobility platform provider or industry should really look at it. But there would be another question coming in the mind, is that will hybrid give me wow feeling? And very good question. We have developed application which really gives a wow feeling, and there are places where we require certain native capabilities to be brought in. And finally, it again depends on the creativity of the person who is developing application, but we need to create a balance that I can't spend year together to develop my all the set of applications to give wow. So I need to have a in my enterprise, we need to really do a balance between what we are, how we can go to market still by balancing that wow effect. So that is where the hybrid is. And today different components, like we have a Dojo, we have a jQuery mobile, we have a Sancha and PhoneGap, and so many different components and capabilities help us to bridge that gap between the hybrid and native, and then combine together and as when required, and target the different type of devices. Right. So let me try to take another. There are US testing tools. Yes, there are testing tools which we covered in my discussion, and there are many other testing tools. If you have a specific requirement about the testing tools, you can drop me a mail so I can provide you all the details about how you can. We are also doing a lot of research, and if anyone is interested, I can link them up with our beta tester program, where the beta testing can be, the people can participate to see an early adoption, or I would say the technology showcase kind of a capability, and really evaluate those capabilities as well. Right? Security tools. Yes, we have a lot of security tools, like we have an app scan, we have a different range of products which can actually do a complete penetration testing, which can perform all different type of, including the security testing. We can really get a comprehensive report. We can induce probes, and we can perform all different type of security testing in the mobile. Right? There is another question that buy on demand. Will enterprises, what is opinion about bring your own devices? Will enterprise embrace it? Very good question. In IBM, we already have a policy, bring your own devices. Many people are doing that one, using it, and many of the partners, even in Indian organization, we are having. From an organization point of view, you can imagine, like, there is a less overhead of an IT, particularly the support desk to support the hardware if there are any parts and everything. So if it is a bring your own device, it is the employees headed to really manage it. But from the security point of view, there are key consideration which need to be definitely addressed in any enterprises, like your security policies, your endpoint management, the software rights and everything. But believe me, with the today's increase in traffic, the employee dissatisfaction, the retention, and everything, at least in all our Indian major cities, in another 5 to 6 years, if we really need to reach our office, I think either we should fly from our house, or we should be staying full weekend in the office premises and then coming back in the weekend. So if we really want to avoid that kind of situation to arise, eventually all enterprises will be forced to provide the work from home, or even the buy your own devices, and all the true mobility as an extension to all devices. And I would say it is not only from to manage the work get done, but it also provides the work-life balance to the employees, working mothers, or even there would be in Indian context, not only working mothers to take care of kids, but we also have a tradition where there are joint families where the parents will be older, and so many things. So if any organization would really want to provide that level of employee satisfaction going forward, mobility is the only answer for that, right? And as a side effect, I would say the employee will be always accessible. The employee will work even after hours whenever it is required, and that becomes another value addition. And some of the organizations, when I asked that, no, why are you not providing? They say that no, we cannot monitor what we are doing. And then when we say that, yeah, finally, that is where the managers can really look at that, as long as the employee is delivering the capabilities or the result. So it shouldn't matter a lot. And in IBM, we are doing it from years together, and absolutely everything is going on fine. So there is a question from the that I am a Microsoft SharePoint developer with 5 years of experience. Our organization is planning to have a mobile application for intranet users. How should I start to learn mobile development? The same answer is applicable here. If you drop me a mail, I will provide you how to install or download the WorkLife from the site. You will get the 1 month free developer license. You can download it. You can test applications. You can master it, and then eventually organization can approach the IBM sales, and you can consider having in your enterprises. So for all the developers and learners, you can very well go. You can look it into all the labs, all the artifacts. You can learn yourself. You can master, and you have my email ID. Anytime you can drop me a mail, and if I'm busy, I'm at the customer place, there will be a slight delay in response, but I will ensure that I will address your email. There is a question, how is the enterprise mobility connected with IBM BPM ILOG? Very good question, and that is why BPM is an enterprise backbone. I would say it's like a business process management, and BPM or ILOG is a room management system, and BPM and ILOG work together and provides an operational decision management kind of a capability. So, but mobility as such is looked at it more like a end consumer channel. Like how I have a web as a channel, I also have a mobility as a channel, and all the IBM BPM platform also exposes services which can be consumed in the mobility or mobile applications as the services, and directly it can communicate with the BPM. So I myself, I'm a BPM consultant, transitioned into mobility, and in most organizations now we are working on how the BPM can now, along with the web, the mobility can be also used as one of the channels where we can communicate with enterprises. There is another one, is IBM provides training for Sybase unwired platform. IBM as such means predominantly we provide training on IBM platform. So for other platforms, definitely we are not the people to, but definitely it is the platform providers training would be more better. So there is a question, as you said, IBM provides platform. Does this platform convert code into native code for iOS and hybrid? Yes. If time permits, I would have shown you the demo as well. However, you can actually try to go to IBM.com and see the WorkLight, IBM WorkLight, and you can actually see know how you can develop. So I will just give you a glance. When you launch an IDE, you can create a project called as Worklight project. You can choose an app and you can say I want hybrid app, I want pure native app, I want shell app, I want native app. Once you choose, it creates an app and its skeleton. Now you can just say right click and say I want to have an environment. You can choose either iOS, Android, Facebook, desktop, Windows 8, Windows 8, RT, and so many different things you can choose. So the IDE automatically creates an appropriate environment over there. You can also create BlackBerry, Windows Mobile, and then you can compile the code and it generates the deployable for that. Like for example, the same IDE generates on a Mac for IPA file for iOS, APK file for Android, for Windows UI, for BlackBerry, the different, now QNX has a different format, but for Gold, again JAR and JAD file. For desktop applications, it generates the desktop UI components directly from the tool. Only thing is you need to install those appropriate SDK and link inside the Eclipse-based IDE. Right? Second question is that knowledge of Android too, but it is not secured OS and hence it is not suitable for enterprise app development. There is from an enterprise app application point of view, I would like to really say that Android is an open kind of operating system. Similarly, Windows, right? I will share you my own very quick experience in the interest of time that iOS, people say that it is very secure, there are no viruses it can attack, but as a developer, I feel that it is very painful for me to quickly develop because I am mandated to have a developer profile, I must have a distribution profile, I mandatorily need to add my UDIDs into my distribution profiles, then only I can connect and I can debug and do so on. Similarly, think of if you don't have administrator rights on a Windows platform or even in Android devices, if you disable external resource installation or you install an external administrator applications like IBM has the endpoint manager, and if you can impose all the security restrictions along with the administrative privileges, then also it very much behaves like how other iOS or Mac which people think. So there is a balance, like the platform provides open nature so that developers can develop or build applications, but whereas if it is closed, then it is very difficult for people to play around, try out lot of things and work on. So it's like it's a pros and cons, both are valid. So that is why I agree that yes, Android is less secure, but it is kept by design open so that we all can easily quickly download, develop applications and deploy. So as a developer, I still would like to quickly just download Android SDK and develop applications. So that's pretty much from an answer point of view. Then architect in near future. Okay, so this person wants to architect. Yes, like you start developing, but I would say that mobile and web development. So earlier people used to do a portal development or web development. Similarly today the people would be doing a mobile application development and everything. But eventually one need to really look at it, the 360-degree view of the mobile as an enterprise platform. So it is not only the mobile application, but in the Worklight or IBM platform, it also has a server component to it. That means it has a mobile gateway kind of a capability where I can control which device I want to give access, when I want to push the updates, when I want to block, when I want to control the devices, which services I want to give access to what type of devices, when I want to disable the access. So many different things. So that is what I mentioned, the paradigm shift. You should not only look at the app as an application which sits on your device, but we also require a mobile management server capability in our enterprise which can really control. So, and that is not like that capability should not be considered like how BlackBerry Enterprise Server. Without that, I will not have internet. But it should be considered more like your governance tool or a gateway, which is ensuring that the enterprise connectivity is administered and managed. and it is not open, right? So otherwise it becomes difficult to really administer, or even we should know that how many Android devices are connected to my enterprise, how many iOS, how many Windows Mobile, and based on that I can really work or decide how much amount of money, more investment I should be really doing at it, right? So few of the question is that in survey of hacking personal details from a smartphone. That is the reason why we in enterprise applications it is not recommended that you store any information inside the app or inside the device. Either all the information should be retrieved in a secure channel along with the secure encrypted format, or even if the some storage required locally, we need to have an offline encrypted cache. So Worklight provides an offline encrypted cache with a different type of encryption mechanism, so that any other application, even if it tries to access that information, it will be app specific encrypted information, and no application can hack that information. So that is what I clearly mentioned, that when we are developing applications, the application should be designed for performance. Application should be designed for scalability. Application should be designed for the enterprise adoption. It should be designed for security. So this is one of the key considerations. I say that at the design itself, these all factors need to be considered. If application is designed without looking at it and only target, yeah, I got it done, now it is working, and that later stages imposes these kind of issues. Right? So how does Worklight take care of certain features which are not supported on all the platforms? For example, Android supports Flash, but iOS does not. So that is what when we create the Android environment. So the artifacts remain the common, and the platform specific artifacts are created as a separate library. So all the platform specific components we can actually add, bundle inside it, and then we can distribute it. So yes, it supports whatever the platform specific requirements as a native, and that is where I mentioned that the hybrid capabilities are actually taken into consideration. So we develop common artifact into common, and then we develop the environment specific content inside the content, the environment boundary, and then we actually expose it. So I would say that you can download and you can play with. If time permits, then I would have actually given you a demo, but today because of the time constraints, I don't have it. But please drop me a mail if possible. I can send you a links where you can actually go through a demo, how it creates, how does it really work, and everything. Few of the question like which middleware you feel is good in respect of performance? Very good question. It is like asking the IBMer whether the IBM tools are good or other competitor goods. Being an IBMer, there are two aspects of my answer over here. Being an IBMer, I would definitely say that IBM products, there is no comparison in the performance. And being a technical person, keeping my employment aside, also I would say the same, because I have worked on all the different middleware platforms. To name few, like I worked on Oracle, I worked on earlier BEA, I worked on the Sun JD server, even I worked on the Tomcat, I worked on even the SAP servers and everything. But when it comes to the robustness, when it comes to the scalability, the security, the open standards, and so many different things, I have seen we beat the performance numbers beyond any other one. And that with my own experience, I would say that performance is not only one, but for enterprise, I consider performance, scalability, open standard, security, the robustness, the compliance, and so many ease of administration. If I really consider all these factors, then definitely I see the IBM middleware takes precedence in many of the different competitors, and even open platforms as well. I even worked on the JBoss as well, and I would really challenge surprised when I saw the cluster capability inside some of the other platforms. So that would be my honest answer as a technical person. So there is another question like can you elaborate more on the mobile device management? How should go about implementing it? In the interest of time, let me not go too deep inside, but we have a tools where the endpoint management can be imposed. So which imposes that now how who can access device, even the password protection, even the connectivity, what services are accessible, what services are not, even the provisioning. Similarly, Worklight has a remote provisioning, also remote update. Even we can push updates to the devices. We can force, we can allow user to choose whether to update or not. So many different things, and the products and the technology provides the capability, but again it is the employee's policy to apply or impose based on the organization's policy. So technology wise or a tool wise we provide, even every other platform provider provides it, but again the policy needs to decide at what level of maturity we need to provide that. So to name, like we have an IBM Endpoint Manager, which we ourselves use it for all our Android-based devices, for our internal applications, which does the complete endpoint management capability for all the Android devices. Let me just go to the last question. What are the security measures considered while developing mobile application considering enterprise solution? I covered in my deck. Three are the main one. One is the channel security, the application security, and the device security. So these are the three key considerations, along with my service security, my backend security, my other relevant security mechanisms for my enterprise middleware or enterprise service management. Those we are not discussing over here, but these are the three. It is recommended that never ever provide non-SSL based application access to all the enterprises, and also it is recommended that do a request and response encryption, so that even in between a request and a response, if there is an information that happens, the request and response can be encrypted and no one can really read it. So there are many different ones, because with the enterprise to enterprise, the security standards vary. Like for a B2C, the security is less, but when it comes to the financial transactions, the security standards are at highest. So that is where it requires a security evaluation or a discussion to happen when we are doing a design. And one request I really want to make in this forum as well is that people think that, oh, mobile, right, I can just download application, I can develop, and I can go to market, right? So when it comes to now enterprise mobility, the game is not that easy, right? So it has to go through the software development life cycle. It has to go through the testing life cycle. It has to go through the penetration testing, the security testing, the functional testing. It has to go through the business acceptance. It has to go through the ethical hacking testing, and so many different things it has to go before it actually goes live. So these all things need to be factored in when we put the timelines, and this is a request particularly to the project managers who put the timelines. So please consider all these aspects, else it bounces back at the later stage. There is a question like, is IBM middleware provides data change notification capability? Right now I'm not able to answer this, but if you can drop me a mail, I can provide you the details about this, because I'm not able to recall whether we are providing that capability or not. I think in the interest of time we overshooted by 19 minutes. Thanks to the moderators to allow us. So I feel that most of the questions I managed to answer. If there are areas which you feel that my answer is unsatisfactory, or if you feel that there is a more discussion required, please drop me a mail. If required, we can later stage we can connect back and provide you more elaborate explanation to the question. And in case if I am not able to answer certain specific capabilities, I can definitely link you with other experts in IBM, and definitely try to provide you all the details and clarification to your queries. So with this, I thank you very much for your time, and thanks for giving me an opportunity to share my knowledge. And there are many things to learn, but I just try to share you whatever I learned to help you. And I also apologize if there are certain areas which remain uncovered or didn't became more clear to you. I request you, please drop me a mail, and I will definitely try to answer those. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you so much for the insightful presentation, Mr. Nishant. I'm really thankful to you for conducting this webinar. It was a great session. I would also like to thank all our participants for the support in making this webinar a success. The recording of this session would be available on techgeek.com by tomorrow. Thank you all. Have a great evening.
Thank you.